or anything designating exactly where it happened, but what we do know is that the train left at 10 o'clock. So his speech probably was about 9:15, 9:30, and then there was a parade. Just a few comments about why he was here. In 1933, Congress enacted the TVA Act, and Congressman Rankin, who Rankin School and Rankin Boulevard are named after, was a co-author of that. Tupelo became the first municipality to sign on to TVA power, and in February of 1934, that power was turned on in Tupelo. Also in Tupelo, I found out, it's also the same year that George McClain happened to come to Tupelo, which started a lot of things happening along the way. Somehow I think both items came together in Tupelo for a reason. We needed to grow. We were a population of about 6,000, and yet on that Sunday morning, a Sunday morning in Tupelo, 35,000 people, according to Alicia Faulkner, our recently deceased historian for Tupelo. She said 35,000, estimated it was 35,000. And as the president said, they came by the acres from other states and everywhere else. Tupelo Mayor J.P. Nanny was there, Governor Mike Connor was there, Congressman John Rankin, and Senator Pat Harrison, and a few other lesser-known dignitaries. But that was the reason that he came, because it was recognizing Northeast Mississippi. And Eleanor, his wife, came with him, and she wanted to go out here. If you go out Gloucester to where you turn left to get on the Natchez Trace, back up on the right, there are some houses where those were Civilian Conservation Corps houses. And she was a big proponent of that, and she wanted to see those houses. So she went to see those houses. They came back, they came down through Green Street, up here on the hill. There was a big turnout, lots of people, and they ended up at Robbins Field. And at Robbins Field, the president gave his remarks. So now it's time. Let me ask my good friend, Steve Holland, to step forward and read President Roosevelt's remarks on that fateful day.
Thank you, Jim. On a point of personal privilege, I haven't.
Have any privilege?
I do have privilege too. Or I'm going to take it. Both my grandfathers were here that day. My grandfather Holland was born in 1894. When TVA came to this area, when the Lee County Co-op, which is now Tom Beebe Electric Power, was formed, the original TVA Act said you had to get 60% of the citizens to be in favor, buddy. And my grandfather, who was born and raised in the Palmetto community, well, he's born in McNair County, Tennessee, took it upon himself, Representative, to solicit the black citizens of Tupelo and Lee County to vote for the co-op. And it passed by 63%, so I'm told. And thus we got power in Lee and Etowah County and other counties around here. My other grandfather came because he was born in 1900, Sadie's father. And he came just out of interest because he was a big, big supporter after the Depression of Franklin Delano Roosevelt. I'm no Franklin Delano Roosevelt, but I'm honored to be asked today to read his comments to you on the speech that he gave right here after a 3-day tour of the entire Tennessee Valley by train. Senator Harrison, Governor Connor, Mr. Mayor, my friends, I shall not make a speech to you today because we are assembled on this glorious Sunday morning more as neighbors than anything else. I have had a wonderful 3 days, and everywhere I have gone, the good people have come as neighbors to talk with me, and they have not come by the thousands. They have literally come by acres. This is the first time in my life that I've had the privilege of seeing this section of the state of Mississippi. Many, many years ago, when Senator Pat Harrison from Mississippi and I were almost boys, I became acquainted with this stomping ground down on the Gulf. Today, I am especially glad to come into the northern part of the state. 2 years ago in 1932, during the campaign, and again in January 1933, I came through Kentucky, through the Tennessee Valley, and what I saw on those trips, what I saw of human beings, made the tears come to my eyes. The great outstanding thing to me for these past 3 days has been the change in the looks on people's faces. It has not only been a physical thing, it has not been the contrast between what was actually a scarcity of raiment or a lack of food 2 years ago and better clothing and more food today. Rather, it was something on the people's faces. I think you understand what I mean. There was not much hope in those days. People were wondering what was going to come to this country, and yet today, I see not only hope, but I see determination and a knowledge that all is well with the country and that we are coming back. I suppose that you good people know a great deal more of the efforts than I have been making in regard to the work of the Tennessee Valley Authority, because you have seen its application in your own counties and your towns and your own homes, and therefore it would be like carrying coals to Newcastle for me to tell you about what has been done. But perhaps in referring to it, I can use you as a text that may be useful to many in other parts of the nation, because people's eyes are upon you, and because what you are doing here is going to be copied in every state of the Union before we get through. We recognize that there will be a certain amount of, what shall I say, rugged opposition to this development. But I think we recognize also that the opposition is fading as the weeks and months go by, fading in the light of practical experience. I cite certain figures for the benefit of the gentlemen of the press who have come hither from many climes. I'm also told that from March of this year, when you started using TVA power, the consumption of power for residential purposes has risen from 41,000 kilowatts to 89,000 kilowatts, an increase of 26%. I understand that from the financial point of view, in spite of various fairy tales that have been spread in other parts of the country, your power system is still paying taxes to the municipality. That is worth remembering. Furthermore, I understand that as a whole, it is a remarkable business success. I talk about those figures first, for it has been so often wrongly alleged that this yardstick which we are using could not be applied to private businesses, because a government yardstick receives so many favors, because it is absolved from paying this and paying that and paying the other things. Well, we are proving in this Tennessee Valley that by using good business methods, we can instruct a good many businessmen in this country. And there's another side to it. I have forgotten the exact figures and I cannot find them in this voluminous report at this moment. But the number of new refrigerators that have been put in use, for example, means something beside just plain dollars and cents. It means a greater human happiness. The introduction of electric cook stoves and all the other dozens of things which, when I was in the Navy, we used to call gadgets, is improving human life. They are things not necessarily new so far as invention is concerned, but more so considered necessities in our American life in every part of the country. And I have been interested this morning in seeing the new homesteads, not just the buildings, not just the land that they are on, not just the excellent landscaping of massive trees among which those homes have been set, but rather the opportunities that those homes are giving to families to improve their standard of living. And finally, my friends, there is one significant thing about all that you are doing here in Tupelo. that others are doing in Corinth and Athens and Norris and the various other places where accomplishment can be seen today. The most important thing of all, I think, is that of being done by the communities themselves. This is not coming from Washington. It is coming from you. You are not being federalized. We still believe in community, and things are going to advance in this country exactly in proportion to the community effort. This is not regimentation. It is community, rugged individualism. It means no longer the kind of rugged individualism that allows an individual to do this, that, or other things that will hurt his neighbors. He is forbidden to do that from now on. But he is going to be encouraged in every known way, from the national capital and the state capital to the county seat, to use his individualism in cooperation with his neighbor's individualism, so that he and his neighbors together may improve their lot in life. Yes, I have been thrilled by these 3 days, thrilled not only in the knowledge of practical accomplishment, but thrilled also in the deep-seated belief that the people of this nation understand what we're trying to do, are cooperating with us, and have made up their minds that we together are going to do this. And so in saying goodbye to you for a short time, because I am coming back, I ask all of you through the length and breadth of the Tennessee Valley and those areas which form an economic portion of that valley, to remember that the responsibility for success lies very largely with you, and that the eyes of the nation are upon you. I, for one, am confident that you are going to give the nation an example which will be a benefit not only to yourselves, but to the whole 130 million Americans in every part of this land. Thank you. A good day.
All right.
I think FDR did a pretty good job there, don't you?
Yes, yes.
He already had the Tupelo spirit, I guess. One of the things I forgot to mention was that there was a big parade, and the 155th Battalion Band showed up, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, and who else did he show? There was and 1,000 Boy Scouts came. Well, I can tell you there were not 1,000 Boy Scouts in Tupelo, so they came from a long way away. I'd like to hear some remarks. We have with us some representatives from the TVA, and at this time I'd like to introduce to y'all Miss Amy Tate.
Thank you, Jim. Oh yeah, I want everybody to notice my button. This was what they wore when FDR came, and I found this on eBay several years ago. Very proud of it, and it sits in my jewelry box for days like this. So I don't have any prepared remarks, so let's just see where this takes us on this beautiful morning. I celebrated my 25th anniversary with TVA last Friday. So 25 years ago Friday, I was here on this field when Glenn McCullough was sworn in as chairman of TVA. And we had a big tent right out there. Steve, you were there. And all the big TVA executives came in from town, and I had been working in City Hall about a year, graduated from college and was in City Hall, and working as special assistant to the mayor. I still don't remember what I did. Johnny, we did some stuff. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. But when Glenn got appointed to TVA, I got to go with Glenn. So I had worked with the TVA folks on his event, and when we had his swearing in that morning, I got to sit with Vance and Glenn Thomas. We checked them out of school, and of course Glenn was our first Mississippi chairman. So when I got this text Friday with the event, and I had celebrated my 25 years that day, like it was really incredible. And I had to sit and pause and think about that. So wonderful history. We all know the story, but a wonderful future too. And I will say that since 1933, our mission has not changed. It is still a mission of service. It is public power. You know, any money that you pay on your power bill goes directly back into that TVA system to make it robust and to help us do the things that we do. And we couldn't do those things without our local partners. We have 28 local power companies, 28, including one of the best sitting right behind me, Johnny Timmons, 14 co-ops like Tom Bigby, which Steve has been on their board a long time, and then 14 municipal power systems that are served by the cities. And we couldn't do what we do without them. But again, still the same mission: economic development, energy, protecting the environment, and that's what we do every day. I just hired Case Knight. How long have you been on the job, Case? 2 months. Yep, Case is a South Taylor boy, came from Senator Hyde Smith's office by way of DOE, very knowledgeable, and he works with our elected officials. So building a good team here in Mississippi, focused on economic development and jobs, and also really trying to engage in our communities more. Y'all heard that through Steve's speech from the president. Community is at the heart of what we do. And we're trying to engage more. We've staffed up in that arena to try to partner with the local nonprofits and the schools. We do a lot in the STEM arena. We had Cal Ripken here last November to cut the ribbon on his first STEM center at the Haven Acres Boys and Girls Club through a partnership with TVA. So I'm always trying to keep Mississippi at the forefront of TVA because of the rich history and because of all the things that we've done. So I'm so excited to be here with you, and this is very special to me. And thank you, Jim, for putting this on.
Thank you. I want to recognize also that we have our representative, Ricky Thompson, here.
Yes.
You got anything you'd like to say? You do? Oh, you're good. Oh, okay.
You did a good job.
All right.
I'm good.
Well, I think it would not be appropriate if I did not ask Johnny Timmons, the director of our Tupelo Water and Light, to say a few words. He has done so much throughout the years managing our electrical system, and it's just an appropriate time. Johnny?
Good morning. First of all, I'd like to recognize Miss Nettie Davis, Buddy Palmer, Mr. Travis. Appreciate y'all being here. Y'all have always supported me, especially with anything to do with TVA. Y'all have always been there and supported me, and I appreciate it. This will be my 51st year for the city of Tupelo, and I'd just like to say I'm a public power kind of guy. I believe in TVA. You can't beat their reliability. We put their system through stress, through summers and things, and they've come through like a champ. So I just want to thank TVA for being our provider here in Tupelo. Thank you.
That's about it for the morning. The president's on his way back to his presidential car, which is located right down there. And as a final thought, if y'all want to see the engine that pulled that train, it's down at Amory. Frisco donated that to them, and it's sitting in Amory. So next time you're in Amory, stop by and see President Roosevelt's engine. Other than that, thank you all for coming. It was last minute, Monday morning, which was horrible, but y'all really, I appreciate y'all coming out.
Thank Chico.
And, oh, of course, there he is. I got the call late Friday afternoon from Chico Harris over in Oxford that put me onto this. So it was really, truly a last minute deal, and it's all his fault for getting you up early this morning. But thanks you very much, Chico.
I wish I'd had the idea a month ago.
Yeah. All right. Thank you all very much for coming. Have a good day.
Oh, Lord. Don't let it go for the rest.
said, of course.